G'day guys, our headwater claws are out. Philly's big brown mare claws are out. Got her for a steal. We were the underbidder in the June sale. She rated really highly on a independent biomechanical and pedigree analysis stuff we used at June, and we will be using moving forward. So we were up to 40,000 there in June. I picked her up for 23,000 this time in. She's grown and furnished nicely. She was a beautiful moving filly then. She still is now. We are going to send her to Hinterland Thoroughbreds, which Shane and I toured last Wednesday. I'm very, very impressed with them and the whole joint. What my plan is to just let her sort of settle in. Then we're going to break her. She hasn't been broken in yet. And we're going to get some feedback from them as to what sort of filly she might be and where best we might place her. We'll have a sort of meeting, Shane and I, and then if you're involved in the horse at that stage, the ownership group, and from there we'll pick a trainer. Now, she's going to be Bob's eligible, so that's going to focus our attention on New South Wales trainers, but that doesn't rule out sort of the Kieran Mars, Annabelle Neeshams, Chris Lees, who have stables elsewhere as well, or a trainer who can jump across the border. I love the way she moved. She's out of a half-sister to a Group 3 winner in Felines.
Felines going between runners. Further back to Harrar and Federal's coming down the outside. Craftiness and Felines at bird off Hidden Pearl. Forget about Japanesma. Federal's the one wide out, surging home. Felines a length and a half clear. Federal, inch by inch, is getting closer. Felines is going strongly, though, sprinting hard, and Felines wins the last.
I just really like the way she moves, and she's bulky, like bigger type of horse. She reminded me of another headwater filly called Aqua Girl, who I used to back a fair bit out of the yard back in the day. And I think she was pretty unlucky not to win more than she won, but she was still a really good filly. And we're near that level. We're going to be very, very happy. Yeah, so that's what we've done. That's the plan. We would have paid more for her if we had to. She was the filly I wanted from the sales. Love the way that she walked. We're going to be patient with her and give her time to tell us where's best to place her. She's Bob's eligible, so New South Wales trainer is favourite. If you are involved, you will be included in that decision. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to our next spring preview show here on the Mailbag. Please like and subscribe, click the button below and get around us. Today's show is brought to you by puntingform.com.au. Fields of Roses goes around in a Group 1 at Sandown on Saturday. Gavin Bedgood has done an amazing job with him, and we've sent him another horse that you can be involved in.
G'day guys, Gavin Bedgood here, Mailbag Bloodstock. They're doing a great job with the horses that they're buying and selecting. They've got 2 tried horses in my stable currently. Field of Roses, he's a dual winner already from the 4 runs that he's had for the stable. He's Metropolitan placed last Wednesday. Keats, he's had 1 start since arrival for a win. They're buying sound horses, they're doing their homework before they purchase them. And I'm really excited about their most recent addition in Exeter.
Well, that's one way to keep the fluorescent yellow colours nice and cleanly all the way. Exeter won it by 4 lengths to Yellow Guru. Exeter for Damien Lake takes the lead. Punched down at 1. Exeter from the count, but Exeter 100 metres to go. Led clearly 2 lengths in front of Sic Positano, who's charging at Exeter, who's holding on, and Exeter won it.
Email Jono at themailbag.com.au to get more info.
It doesn't actually go around in Group 1, it's just a Group 1 day, but it's a big day for us.
Yeah, exactly. So accountable betting advice all over the country this weekend, delivered by our app. Head to mailbag.com.au and check out the results and get on board. No better time to get involved, betting Metro meetings Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So hello everybody and welcome to, what have we got? Moir, Underwood, Golden Rose,
And the Weetwood.
The Weetwood, the time on it.
Which you two are going to need to educate it, not just our audience, but me about.
I've nearly forgotten the main thing there.
How quickly you've left Toowoomba behind you, Gaby?
Not yet. so
I like that. Not yet, but you will be leaving.
Well,
Progress.
So we're going to kick off today. Let's have a look. I think we go to the Moir Stakes first, and we've got a great race, in my opinion. We've got the Inferno. We've got the ones in the market, Paul Laley, Rothfire, Zoostyle. Malkovich is there. I think he could be a little bit shorter generation as well. And the rest, what are we thinking, boys?
I think Malkovich generation will probably be the leaders. Zoo Style from 9, Shane D. Oliver. I'm not convinced he rockets across with the speed inside. Same Rothfire.
Come on, mate. It's going to pull you up right there. You said that last time, and he hunted it through to lead. It's leading, Zoo Style.
I think so myself. Maybe.
Well, that could push J Carr and Coolangatta to 3 back the fence, which isn't where you want to be with 50 kilos. I don't know where Maliva and Bella Nipotina get to in this map. I think they're very, very tricky spots. September run, worse in midfield, extremely lucky the Inferno bring up the rear. I think Paul Ailey and J-Mac get a little suck run there from 6. Shane?
Yeah, I'm sort of with you with that speed map. Generational cross, Coolangatta, and then Zoo Style maybe cross it. I think you've got that right, and I think it leaves Rothfire with the best run. We can see here the last start replay where we have Zoo Style leading Coolangatta, Rothfire just about to come 3 wide around the heels of Coolangatta there. The 2 big, strong Queenslanders, Gab, pair off to fight it out.
That's more like it.
1,000 metres.
1,000 metres, like staying at 1,000, Shane. What do you think about that?
Staying at 1,000 gives Zoo Style a chance to beat Rothfire, who I anticipated would step up to 1,200 second up.
And if they did, then Zoo Style couldn't beat it. What about Coolangatta?
Nah, Coolangatta was thrown in last time. Obviously only carries 50 kilos, being a 3-year-old filly here. She can't turn the tables on that. Like, she's a little filly against, big, strong Queenslanders again. She ain't turned the tables there either. Yeah. And then you add the blue jacket of Palele with J-Mac on, who's who brings some very strong Sydney form. So yeah, she can't win. But the 2 Queenslanders might just find their right spots in run here again, Jack, and be hardest to beat.
It's been a bit of a spring, like early spring for Queenslanders, no doubt. I thought the Inferno was the run of the race there in the McEwen, but I don't want to be backing anything at the Valley on a Friday night, first Friday night of the year. That's going to be settling last. I reckon he rattles home and he's right on track for whatever he wants, but I don't want to be with him. Paul Ailey's hard to handle here. Really nice trial at Hawkesbury. The first trial, he couldn't see anything. It was a misty morning there, I think maybe Rose Hill. But he's 3 from 3 first up. Normally has 1 trial, had 2 here. Forms around like Nature Strip, Marzu, Eduardo. Makes him like a very hard horse to profile or to be against, especially with J-Mac and that map. I'm happy to pen Rothfire. Ran a peak last start. Stays at 1,000. I don't like that. Didn't go to the Everest. I don't like that. It's all sus to me. And the only positive I can see is that he's trained buffering, but that's not a positive for me, really. I think the horse is overrated in the market. I think Zoo Style's massively overrated in the market. It started at a much bigger price than Rothfire did last start, and somehow they want me to take near the same price. That's just a joke. And Generation's a horse that I think with this map's a player at the price. It was very well back to win the William Reid, maybe the last night meeting last season, like early this year. Mzara, I think it's a reasonable chance here. Extremely lucky is a disgraceful price. It should have a 1 in front of it. September runs never won over 1,000 metres, won once first up in its life. That was a maiden. So I'm happy to risk it with Kieran and Chris. Bella Nipotina I'd back if I had a better map, but I just don't like the map at all. Isotope scares me. They backed that at Caulfield, Shane, another Queenslander. Scary operator. Maliva, no. Coolangatta, blessed last start, couldn't do it again, surely. That leaves me with Malkovich, who started $8 or $11 behind Eduardo last start. That's the Grouse Sydney form. I can tie that through Nature Strip. It's going to make its own luck up on speed. I think it's a really, really good bet. It's a great bet at the price. And if you have one bet at Moonee Valley on Friday night, have each way on Malkovich. I think it's a great price.
I really like him as well. I think he's just going to get a comfy lead, and him at his best, he can win this.
Are you much of an SP profile operator? Yeah.
SP, you'll have to
starting price. So like what it started last. Its starting price last start in a better race than this, I'd say. Like Eduardo what price would Eduardo be here? $1.80.
Odds on, yeah.
So last start Eduardo was $3 versus Malkovich $11, and now they want to give me a bigger price against these horses. It's a joke.
I'm happy to take it though.
Same.
I'm more than happy.
We're Team Malkovich here. That's good. I like it.
Beautiful. Well, we've seen, Malkovich and had a look at him. So should we press on to
Buckle up, punters. Buckle up. We're headed to Toowoomba.
buckle up for a bit of Toowoomba? So
Is this genuinely is this the metro meeting in Queensland?
this is it. This is it, T-Bar. Weetwood Day. Very exciting for people who live there and go up there. And Shane lives there. That's his hometown. Shane, I should really leave this to you to introduce.
Where's your singlet?
I love Toowoomba.
You're on mute, mate.
I'm going to wear it to the. I've got a bad cough.
He's having a good day, guys.
I'm going to wear my new basketball singlet to the track on Saturday. When I'm doing the mounting yard there, fly kicking the Sky Channel, people are doing it, jumping in front of the camera and that.
How far is this race? What distance is it, mate?
This is a 1,200-metre listed handicap. You can see the market there, courtesy of your friends, our friends at Baggy Bet.
Flying Crazy, never responsibly.
Flying Crazy has opened favourite at 440 from Garibaldi, Gary Nonny. Win sides in the market, unbelievably, single figures, Mass Destruction $6, Axe $8, Emerald Kingdom $13, and Bonaparte, not Bonaparte, Bonaparte is also in single figures.
What about Mass Destruction? That's the only horse I recognise here that, like, of recent runs. It was very, very heavily backed to win maybe last start. Could have been 30s in and just missed. Is that right?
Yeah.
It did miss, yeah, because I can't remember what. Yeah, it got beat anyway. Look, I suppose we could start with the speed map. You'll have to excuse my cough here. It's just persistent.
It's not COVID.
No, it's not.
It hasn't
COVID.
tested, but it's not COVID. In this race, they have 1,200 metres, guys.
So 1,200 metres at Toowoomba starts down the top of the end of the back straight. There's like an incline. So I'm looking for horses that 1,350, 1,400 metre horses are better suited here. Those speedy squibs that want 1,100 aren't going to, like, this track doesn't suit them at all. The testing 1,200 metre race. Axe, I think, pushes forward with Emerald Kingdom. You can see there on the map, Grey Worm. I've highlighted a horse that's just going to sit just behind the speed there. In Flying Crazy's the one that I think is going to get the right map here. Look, he gets a very good jockey switch as well. Karen McAvoy off for Brad Stewart wearing white gloves. Is as good as any jockey switch you'll see. Flying Crazy has been to Queensland a couple of times. He'd come up here and won the Daybreak Lover. It listed at 3-year-old grade early in the Winter Carnival with Brad Stewart on. Then went down to Scone and won at listed level over 1,300. And I thought that was a super effort. He beat some horses, some genuine, like, Sydney horses that day. He beat Almedo and Andermatt, who we know as, SP short prices in some races in town. True Detective was behind there, Hightail, all these Charmy Baby, all these horses that we know as Queensland racing followers that have come up here and won nice races over the Winter Carnival. He's beaten Military Expert in the Canberra Guineas at 1,400, and we know that the horse of Annabelle Neesham that's gone to Melbourne and won some races in the early spring.
Run big figures too, that horse.
Runs behind Animo, Kiss Some, Valana. It's just littered with proper form behind him, this horse. He's come to Queensland looking for a dry track. He gets that. He's terribly well suited with the map. And these are just not very good horses that he's running against. And I think he's the obvious horse. I've already had something on him. I've got him on top. A couple of horses I want to mention, which I think are chances as well. Number 10, Axe, drawn wide. I'm not too worried about that. Now, Jim Byrne rode this last start at the Gold Coast, having his first run for the Jack Bruce stable, ex-Michael Costa horse. This thing, like, it's run really well. Done a lot of work to get up on speed. Jimmy Byrne went a little bit early on him, and Garibaldi had the sit on him that day. I thought Axe ran really well. They run big time. Now, when you look at the figures for the day, this is a listed race, but it's at the Gold Coast. So if you're just looking at punting form figures, for example, it's a little bit understated. They've gone a lot better. This is a high quality race that come out of it. Ran slick time. And I think it's got even though it's got a wide gate, it'll still push forward in a race that you sort of like anticipate. There's a few in this race that are just no good, so they'll want to be in front at the 1,000 so they can tell their kids they led the Weetwood one day. Those sort of horses in this field. Like, not only do they crawl out of caves and out of trees and from the hills to go to the race day, like some of these horses in here should be going west. But it was super run for its first run for Jack Bruce. So I think it pushes forward from the gate anyway. I think it's a chance. And Bonaparte is the other horse.
Doesn't he call it Bonaparte?
I don't call it Bonaparte. I call it Bonaparte.
Doesn't the race call it Bonaparte?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard Chuck Fowler say, "And we're having a Bonaparte." Not on the microphone at the track anyway. He was a listed winner last start, admittedly on a heavy track at Doomben, but has had run some good closing figures in a couple of his last efforts. Steph Thornton's the right jock for this horse because she rides pretty conservative, so I'll let him find his spot and get a trail into the race and can finish off strong. Obviously, if you're making a case for him, you could probably say those two Golan horses could get the similar runs as well. But I just think that Flying Crazy does get all the favours. The key to this race, though, will be the track pattern. The Toowoomba track hasn't raced any worse ever than what it has in the last 12 months. Distinct lanes and patterns that just never existed. There's a new track manager there that's taken over, and it's been very patternish. Traditionally, at this meeting, 4 and 5 off the fence, swooping down the middle of the track has been the place to be. So I'm not confident that we're going to see that normal true rail racing pattern that we've seen historically here. So we'll just be keeping that in mind. But this point in time, happy to be on Flying Crazy. I think he's just got those class animals all through his form, and he's the clear horse to beat.
Well, one you haven't mentioned, which I'm glad because I'll just take over and
take all the glory.
But I'm with Toowoomba. I believe you can have the best horse in the race, but they do not handle the track and the tempo, and then
It's been a really smooth show.
I think you can have a really good horse, but it goes up, can't handle the hill, doesn't go any good. That doesn't mean your horse is not good. It's just it can be a little tricky little track. So I'm with Emerald Kingdom. I just think this horse second up absolutely flies. We've got 6 starts second up for 5 wins and a second. And Jim Byrne takes them out for Desley Foster. I think I would have liked to see him have the 2 trials coming into this, just as I usually do. He usually has 2 trials, has not an average run, but thereabouts, and then can come out and win. He came out and won the BRC Sprint 2 years ago, I believe, and then came out and won the Archer this year. So very exciting horse. I think he's got barrier 10, slightly awkward there. If he can sit in he's probably going to go forward. Hopefully he's not too wide and can pounce on them. I really think he's a hope. He's currently $19, I believe. So
I've got nothing to add. I just will be doing what Shane says via the app, and I won't be watching.
No, I wouldn't watch either. Even if you're not going to be watching the footy.
No, I don't watch Toowoomba anyway, unless it's a one you've talked about for 2 days and I've had way too much on, and then I watch that late. Hang on, babe, I just got to go to the toilet and I watch it on my phone. But as a rule, I don't watch Toowoomba because it makes me anxious.
It feels wrong previewing the Weetwood handicap in between the Moir and the Underwood, but that's
the 1100 metre Moir Stakes. I wait for age race too, because over 1,000.
It's not 1,200.
It's definitely not 1,200, Shane.
No.
We're about to heat things back up for those listeners who are interested in the Underwood and keeping you here this whole time. And I'm very excited about this, but what do I do? Absolutely not sure. You guys might have more idea. We've got Zaki, the clear favourite. I'm thunderstruck there. Alligator Blood, $7. Can he run the trip? Mr. Brightside, exciting galloper, Moanga, and nonconformist. What are we doing?
J-Car jumps onto Zaki. I think she has to lead from 5. I don't know what Timmy Clark does on Alligator Blood from 2, and I think that's why you cannot bet into this race. He should lead, I bet you he doesn't.
I don't think he leads, to be honest. I think
if he leads, if a younger me was there at the 400 meter mark in the grandstand by myself, I'll be backing him in run if he jumped and led. I think Mr. Brightside will get a good run. I think Mwanga and Nonconformist will be the next pair. And I don't know what Zara does with On Thunderstruck from 6. He might try and, get the back of Mr. Brightside. And if he does, you'd be very nervous if you're against him in run. But this will be a really slowly run race. It'll be a disappointing figure, but it is a good race all the same. Zaki and Alligator Blood will fight hard, I think, and can both win. So can Mr. Brightside, and so can On Thunderstruck. Nonconformist, this stage of last preparation, which led to a second in a Caulfield Cup, improved dramatically. That wasn't against this grade of horse, though. But respect the stable for sending it to this race. And Mwanga wasn't hopeless in the Mackay Diva either. So that's a really gutless, fence-sitting appraisal of this race, but that's the sort of race it is. I think Alligator Blood, if Zaki wasn't in the race, I'd back Alligator Blood just off the SPs. It started shorter than I'm Thunderstruck in the Memsies, which is the grouse form reference for Victoria at the moment, and probably should have won the Mackay Diva if he didn't sort of just go from 0 to 100 at the top of the straight and leave himself sort of hanging. But with Zaki fighting the lead with him, I just don't think it's perfect for him, and therefore I'm not going to bet. If I had to bet, it'd be Alligator Blood or Mr. Brightside just outside the market slightly.
A very tactical race. There's absolutely no need for Zaki to lead and go slow. Zaki should be lead, going out -7, getting home -7 and winning. Like, if it is as simple as that. Like, Alligator Blood will probably take a sit on its back. The other horses are going to be advantaged on a slow tempo because they're not proven at 1800. I'm talking Mr. Brightside and I'm Thunderstruck. Nonconformist wants another lap.
There's a race shape here, though, Shane. There's a race shape here where Zaki goes and Tim Clark gets off the fence, sits outside lead, and all of a sudden, Nonconformist in the coffin.
Yeah.
Brightside's 1-1.
Yeah,
it's so tactical.
Jamie Carr holds the key to this race. She goes too slow, it can get run over. She goes out at a good gallop, and like similar to, have a look at the punting form data on Zaki last start is like perfect. Out in 6, -6, home -6.8. Does that, it wins. That's what I think. If she allows those horses that are a little bit suspects at 1800 to get it, to walk for 2 furlongs, it's a sprint home. Brightside and Thunderstruck can get home in below double figures.
Which is why I don't think you should be betting, because J Carr's Aft Cabin Ride will win this race. J Carr's Chain of Lightning will lose this race. And that's the same rider on the same day doing 2 completely different things. If she waits and tries to go with them late, I think it'll be a bunch finish regardless, a little bit of a lottery. But if she guts them, good luck catching her. It doesn't matter if it's a hillside, Sandown's an on-pace track.
And speaking of racing's first lady in Victoria, Jamie, she has ridden this horse last preparation, don't forget, on speed a couple of times at Flemington. 10.8 lengths slow to the 600 the first time she sat on its back, and 1.8 lengths quick.
And if you flip that over on your puntingform.com.au, which you should all be using, and turn it to the class figure, it's 18.6 lengths slow. That first one was 18.6 slow.
So Jamie has gone too slow on this horse a couple of times.
You reckon Annabelle's telling her what to do?
I don't you don't tell J-Mac what to do, right? For example, no one would give James instructions.
Nor should they.
I don't know. I don't know that you'd give instructions to Jamie, would you? Lead and win.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't think you do either.
You think John Longmire's going to tell Buddy Franklin how to kick for goal on Saturday? No, he's not.
I'm sure every single Swan supporter will be telling him how to kick for goal if he misses his first 2, Jack.
He won't, and we won't.
Yeah, positive vibes only. But
yes.
Look, Zaki's the bet for me, but for the same reason, I just can't bet in the race because I'd have bet regret if she goes too slow and gets out sprinted.
I'm excited to see it, but yeah, I think the same. I don't know if I'll probably end up having something on Gator just to keep the heart happy.
That's what you got to do that sometimes. But because we haven't given you any bets there, I've got a stack of them for you right now. Pakenham tonight, if we get there. I don't know if we get there or not. Race 4, number 11, Snick. Or Sads, Johnny Sadler. Been a little bit of money early. You need it. We've got it. And tomorrow night at the Valley, 2 other bets I think you can have for sure. It's race 2. This might be the biggest jockey switch of all time. J-Mac on race 2, number 7, English Riviera. Completely slaughtered, way too fast at Flemington. I think that's a really good form reference. I think you can back English Riviera with confidence. And then race 3, number 3, Clement South. Have a little all up if you want to. I think you kick your Friday night off with a bang. They'll both be very hard to beat. They'll both settle on the speed, and I think they'll both be winning.
Beautiful. And
also, Pinstripe goes around at Sandown on Sunday. Goes against Dragon Leaf. I said I'd back both wherever they went. They're both $4. I'm going to back Pinstripe.
Did we get have we got Jane Bunn or someone coming on the show with a weather report for the weekend in Melbourne? What track are we expecting there?
It's grand final weekend. It's beautiful. It's glorious outside. I was in a shirt today.
Hey.
Royal Sandown, God's carpet. It's going to be beautiful. Okay. I cannot wait. Field of Roses.
Jane, roll off your best.
Flying crazy. Just got the proper form now. After you did mention Emerald Kingdom, I did look back at its last prep, and obviously, competed pretty well in the Winter Carnival, and you might have found one a bit of overs there, particularly off the back of that win in the time-honoured Archer, the slot race of North Queensland. So let me say it again: the slot race of North Queensland. But yeah, I'm backing Flying Crazy, and Sterling Alexiou and Gerald Ryan have a great strike rate bringing horses up north. So happy to bet. It starts $3. Very hard to beat.
All right. Race 6, number 4, the Valley. Great house. It's crying out for the 2,000 metres, this horse. Really, really good run last start. You just settle down there, Jack.
Are you worried about the map of this horse?
Yes, I'm worried about him getting back and not being able to just be close enough. And I really don't like horses that go back at the Valley. And
it's a staying race, I guess.
I am concerned, but I'm crossing my fingers. We've got J-Mac on board, which is wonderful. We're dropping 5 kilos here. So
maps don't count when you got J-Mac, right? You just put it in the right spot. What are you worried about? He just puts him in the right spot.
No, I found the same horse. Just got a bit cautious about the map. But I'm certainly with you there, guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Shane, take it away again.
This is Sunday at Sandown. Race 6, number 3, Clarity. A little bit of a sneaky run last time when it ran well to sort of beat the bias, I suppose, is the right way of putting it, on the dog, beating the pattern on the day. And for that reason, I think that's why it's come up at the price it has. So I just I had to do a little bit of form for Sandown on Sunday because the Toowoomba card is that bad, and I was just desperate to find a bet somewhere. So looking for some horses that were unsuited last time that get to Sandown and get their chance to run on. And this was one that I found, race 6, number 3, Clarity. Each way odds at $12 and $3.80 the slot.
James has got race 9, number 3, Catalyst. Good luck. And
obviously you give it none.
You've crossed him when he wasn't here, just out for the net. Just sledged him too. Oh, good.
Tell them in case people are just listening to this. And then my other one is going to be race 8, number 14, which is Fireburn. I thought last start she didn't really let down. I don't think it was too much of a vigorous ride, to be honest, on her, and she still ran on really well. So I think here if she gets the heavy track, which I'm pretty sure it's raining down there again, she'll just absolutely thrive. No knock in Secret. I think she's complete class. But happy to chase that little bit of value.
Absolute shame that wet weather, isn't it? Because Jacquinot was immoral in that race.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Or maybe morals.
It's a really easy bet to have.
It was an easy bet to have. The rain just ruins everything, ruining everything in Sydney, isn't it? So we're not going to see the best of those horses, but obviously Fireburn with that 2-year-old wet track form.
Yeah, I think it's a great bet. So anything else from anyone?
That's us. My best value was Malkovich. We spoke about that earlier. I reckon that's us. Go Swans, huh? Go Swans.
That's it. Like and subscribe, please, and thank you. And we will see you next week for another great preview of our spring racing.
Shane, please say it.
Go Swans.
Well done.